Mr. Graham, homework help! You got homework help! Let's start. Alright, we're about to start this homework help. You should be on page 265. I can't give you the answers. You're past that. You're past that. You're too smart for that. But I am going to show you some things that will help you. It's kind of the same thing, you know? This whole page is what you need to know for your homework. Oops. Come on. Come on. Right. Don't let it confuse or scare you. It's not so bad. Start at the top. Smart place to start. Alright. So this is a full circle right here. This is a protractor, but it's also a half circle. This question asks you, if you turned this line, if you went from here, if you went from there to there, how many angles would you reach? Or in other words, each little tick is a 1 degree move. How many 1 degree moves do we make if we went that far down the line? Emma? 90 degrees. Now you guys are getting really good at knowing that about that far is 90, and about at half a circle is how much? 180. You guys are getting really good at that. But they're not always going to ask you. Oh, I forgot to give myself a time limit. Make sure I don't blah, blah, blah too much. But they're not always going to ask you the 90, the 180, the 270. They're going to ask you smaller or bigger or ones with just a little bit of difference. And you want to know the exact answer without guessing. Like what if we looked at this clock, for example, and they wanted to know how many degrees the minute hand had gone, or the second hand. If it was perfect like this, if it was pointing straight at the 3, I think you guys would know. Because look, that looks like how many degrees? 3 degrees, what is that? 90. So that would look like 90. But it's not pointing at the 3. Oops, it is now because I made it point at the 3. It's pointing at the, let's say, I don't know, a little bit, let's say it's pointing at the 4. Let's say, hey, how many degrees has the second hand, I guess it's the second hand, has the second hand moved? You'd go, more than 90? How much exactly? In order to figure that out, you need to answer this question. How many degrees are between each minute? 1 minute, just one little minute, is how many degrees? In order to figure that out, first I need to know how many degrees are in a circle, a full circle. Israel?
160.
Yeah? How many minutes are in a whole hour? Or around the whole clock, in other words. Destiny? There's 60 little marks all the way around. If you do a little division, you can figure this out. Now don't let this division scare you. 60 into 360, that's the same thing as 6 into 36. That's a times table. Who knows how many times 6 goes into 36? Ivan.
6 times.
6 times. And what's 6 times 6? 36. And then you just remember those zeros. Remember, we had a 0. No remainder, we're done. We're done. So we know that 6 times 60 will give us 360 degrees. So the question is, how many degrees is each minute on a clock worth? Oh, you can't tell? The answer is literally in front of you. That's what we did the division for. Count? Zami? Huh? 6 degrees. Yeah. Every little minute is 6 degrees. How many minutes have I gone so far? 5.
15.
Remember that we said that this was 90? We know that's 90, right? And it's also 15 minutes. If what I said is true, then we should be able to do 15 times 6, and that should give us what? It should give us 90. What's 6 times 5?
30.
30. Carry the 3. What's 6 times 1?
6.
Plus the 3.
9.
90. So it's true. Each minute really is 6 degrees. So now, because you know that, because you know each minute is 6 degrees, you don't have to say, oh, I only know 90, I only know 180, I only know 270, and I only know that all the way around is 360. Now you can find anything. What if I asked you, pretend that's 21 minutes. How many degrees through that circle is that? What problem will we do to figure that out? Well, yeah, multiplication. But what kind of multiplication? Let's do the big stupid box thing. What multiplication would you do? Israel? 21, because that's how many minutes? Times 6. Because every because every minute is 6 degrees. 6 times, oh, we can just put zeros here. 6 times 2 is 12. Put the 0 down. 6 times 1 is 6. Add those together. Pretty easy, actually. 126. So that is 126 degrees. It's about the same. That'd be 126. That makes sense because 90 is right about there, and a little further is 126. And if we kept on going, what's that straight down the middle one again? 180. So yeah, we're on our way to 180. Let's look at the bottom now. You have to know about fractions and degrees and how they're kind of together. This fraction, this term right here, is 1/4. Do you see that? It's 1 out of 4 parts. 1/4 of 360 degrees is what? 90. So 360 divided by 4 equals 90. Sometimes, the reason I'm showing you this is because sometimes they'll give you a fraction that you don't know what to do. Like, maybe they'll give you, instead of a nice 4th, they'll give you 8ths. Oh no, what do I do? Well, when we had 4ths, we did 360 divided by 4. If you have 8ths, you should do 360 divided by 8. If you do that, you'll get the right answer. Yes, Gabriel? 45 is correct, actually. So in tonight's homework, what do you have to know? You have to know about how many angles you might reach if you turn a certain distance. You have to know how to deal with the clock. And remembering that each minute is 6 degrees will really help. And you have to know that a circle can be cut into fractions. And those fractions you use to divide and find out how many degrees are in one piece of the fraction. Yes, Giancarlo?
Can I sit there? And then
Sure.
you can see.
Sure. All right, I think we're done with just enough time to spare. Everybody say bye, class.
Bye!